Hey, what's up? This is Matt Daley, and this is Classes with the Master. So growing up, around probably age of 3, I started playing piano, just messing around. My mom was a pianist, a music teacher, so she started showing me a few things when she saw the interest and some talent. But I also grew up loving other things, sports. I was a big hoops, NBA basketball fan, loved Allen Iverson and Vince Carter were two of my favorite players growing up. And I just kept doing music all throughout my childhood, but it wasn't until I was about 18 that my mom got me interested in playing the organ. She suggested I try it out. I had a lot of great organists around me at the time, and from there I just really grew to love it.
Are you still into sports? Who would you say that your organ playing is most like from the game of basketball?
Well, I haven't never had that question before. My organ playing, who's in sports? I would say it's kind of like, as egotistical and conceited as this might sound, maybe LeBron James, just because I like to think that I have a lot of versatility, that I can do a lot of different things on the pipe organ in different styles, whether it's gospel or classical or more just CCM type of a thing, and blend in. So with all humility, maybe LeBron James. So it is absolutely critical that any aspiring organist develops good practicing habits. Some of my students will start at the very beginning when they practice and go all the way to the end of the piece. You don't want to do that too often. You want to isolate the measure that you feel like you need to work on. Sometimes maybe it's 2 measures. And even isolate there, you want to figure out what is the problem. So if you take this section here at the end of Bach's Prelude and Fugue in G major, together it would sound like this, kind of at performance tempo, something like this. But I might practice this a lot slower and put it on flutes so I can hear better, and maybe I just work with just my feet and my right hand. And I would stop and listen to what I just played. Then I asked myself, what am I hearing? what do I want to hear, and just constantly comparing those different analysis techniques, and eventually that'll help me figure out at the more detailed level what I need to change.
So how would you play the left hand? Maybe you said you went through it slow, and maybe you got to a level where now you're playing it up to tempo at this very vibrant sound. How would you do the left hand with the pedals? Do you ever play the pedals by themselves?
I absolutely do. It's all about playing things by themselves, so the brain can really focus on everything that's happening. Because once everything's going on, the brain can only comprehend so much.
Can you give us a little left hand and
left hand pedals? Sure. So the same section, slowly.
Maybe up to tempo.
Up tempo, something like this maybe. I'll start with the right hand because it leads into left hand.
So you look so focused when you're playing. What is your routine, your performance routine?
Yeah, so the day of a performance, I want to get rid of as much stress as possible. So I'll usually try to go somewhere alone, like it's a park or the mall or something, just walk around and get in a good peaceful state of mind. And then of course I'll get to the venue early. You want to get there early so you're not scrambling around, and I'll get on the piano, not do any intense playing, but I'll just kind of go through some spots that I want to check to make sure it's good. And then I'll just go backstage and I'll pray that I play well, pray that I bless the audience and that I have a good time. Make sure I get a good amount of food, even though I don't usually eat that much. But my wife always makes sure that I'm not hungry, and just have a good day. So you may or may not be familiar with the different stops on an organ. There are a lot of different stops, and they give us a lot of different sounds. It's important to know each sound very well and know when to use each different pipe and each different stop and each different combination of stops. So for say a hymn, say I have what we call foundation stops going. Sometimes you want to then increase the energy level, and one way to do that is by adding reeds and adding some mixtures. So matter of fact, Marcus, maybe you could help me with this. So I'm going to play through the hymn, and when I get maybe halfway through, just pull out these. This is a sharp mixture and the trumpet reed, and then you'll hear how that will change the sound a bit. Thank you, Marcus. So you can hear how in the sound, when he pulled out that reed, the trumpet, and he pulled out the mixture at the same time, we had an automatic, more festive, more joyous, more energetic sound for the congregation, hopefully to sing that same emotion as they sing.
This is Classes with a Master. You're a master at your craft. Doctorate in organ performances. Have you ever had a bad performance?
Woo! Mercy. Oh, I've had more than I would like to admit. But I've repressed them all. I think one that comes to mind, though, is probably I was playing for a high school. This was over 10 years ago. I wasn't in high school, but everyone in the high school was like a choir, and I was the pianist. They all thought I was this incredible pianist. And at some point, they wanted me to modulate, just take it up a half step, no big deal. For whatever reason, these fingers decided to take it up a tritone. And the singers, some of them went up a half step, some of them followed me. But it just became this horrible cacophony. And I felt terrible because afterwards, everyone was apologizing to me on behalf of the singers. No one would believe that it was my fault, but it was completely my fault. I apologize to Tacoma Academy Choir, but that was definitely a bad moment.
Now brag on yourself. What was your best performance?
My best all-time performance. One that definitely comes to mind was actually my audition for our alma mater, USC. And it was just crazy because a lot of things went wrong that day. Like, we were talking about how to prepare for performance day. This was not what I wanted at all. I had the flu. I was shaking that day. I had a fever. I got to the venue late, but God just said, doesn't matter. And it was just, everything felt so solid. Notes, the rhythms, the expressivity. Literally after I played each piece, I felt like I was gonna throw up. But while I was playing, I was just in a zone. And I was like, man, I need to get the flu every time I perform. It was crazy.
So Matt, tell me about your journey. You have an undergrad from the University of Maryland in piano performance.
Go Terps, yes sir.
Masters of Music in piano performance from the University of Maryland. Masters of Music in organ performance from Yale. And then a doctorate in organ performance from USC. Bro, what motivated you to go through all that schooling, and how did you make it through all of that?
Man, I think if I had known how much schooling it would be initially, I don't know if I would have taken this route, but I think along the journey, I just really developed a passion for education. For not only, like, I started teaching, and I love teaching. I love helping train people and to become the best version of themselves, but just the value in learning in general. And it's been a huge blessing. I don't think a lot of people just even have the opportunity to learn in school the way I have. I've been able to work with some incredible musicians, incredible teachers, mentors. But it's something that also I'm excited now that I'm done with my doctorate, that I can keep learning. I've been watching you as a post-educational institution person, still learning, still just pursuing education and music education just in different avenues. So I just love learning, and I hope to continue that even outside of the conventional educational institution.